AI generated ads are no longer a gimmick. They are absolutely effective. They convert incredibly well for Facebook ads. So in this video, I want to show you how I make an AI UGC ad, how I make AI image ads and then turn them into UGC ads. I also want to make an ad, set it live in one of my clients' accounts, give it a couple of days to run, and then actually show you the results for yourself with money behind it, how well these ads actually perform. It's absolutely insane how well they do at the minute. So without any of the fluff or the nonsense or me talking too much, I just want to jump straight in it and show you exactly what I'm doing. So first things first, I'm going to be using Arcads. Also want to give a big shout out to Arcads for sponsoring this video. Absolutely happy days. I was already using their software daily for my agency. Then they reached out, asked me to make a video. More than happy to. So first thing you want to do, jump into Arcads. I've signed into my account. Software is incredibly easy to use. You're just going to click the little plus here, make a new project. And then in terms of what you can do with Arcads, I'm going to show you the UGC content generator first because that's the most commonly used. But some of the other things that they've recently introduced on Arcads are absolute game changers in terms of making ads that actually convert on Meta. But first things first, you want to make UGC. Obviously, you're going to need a script. Now, I'm not going to spend ages going over script in this video. It's something that you can just check other videos for. And a lot of people waste time talking about script when you just want to see what the results are, which is what I want to focus on. But I am going to just drop this in the comments. So this is a basic prompt that I use for UGC from AI. So I always like to go with testimonial style, AI UGC. I'm not going to read this to you either, but you're just going to copy and paste this, which will be in the description, into ChatGPT. And obviously what you want to do is replace everything in the brackets with your own product specific stuff, or even easier, you could literally just paste this into ChatGPT. Get to the bottom of the page and then just say, write this script using my business info from leadhouse.co.uk, bang, enter. And what ChatGPT will do is just go to your website, pull out key information. So you can do this with your product page if it's a specific product, or just your overall website about us page. I would definitely review it to make sure the information's accurate, the flow of the script is good, all of that stuff. But as I say, I'm not going to go on in this video about script. But there you can see it's written that out, lead house. And it's basically the flow of this script is, as you can see, personal discovery, solution, explain why you didn't know about it or what the secret is, and then give the real result. It's kind of like a problem solution ad, but in a testimonial format. So we jump back into Arcads now that we've got our script, which took 2 minutes, maybe less. So I'm going to put this in for an actual client that we've recently just launched ads for, and I have already made this ad on Arcads, launched it about 2 days ago. I'm going to show you the results for that ad, which are really, really promising, a little bit later on once we've finished making it. So you drop in the script, you're going to want to select talking actors because that's what you're making, text to speech, then you just click add actors. And there's a massive library of actors, AI generated UGC content creators. There's loads of details down the side that you can use here if you want to be specific about who the AI UGC creator is going to be. For this case, I want to go male. And there is something that I like to do with Arcads, which I think just sells the AI a little bit more, especially if your target audience, target demographic is 45 plus. They tend not to notice that it's AI. So this one, for example, the actual character, the actual person who filmed this and then has gone on to Arcads, they're moving with the camera, walking, and that movement takes focus away from the mouth where the sync might not be very good all the time. So for me, I always go for ones where there is camera movement. The good thing is there are a lot of AI actors on here now with camera movement. As you can see, there's another one here where he's actually moving the camera around, walking, talking, etc. But I like this one, so I'm just going to click on this one. Add actor. Okay, so you've added the actor, you've got the script. What you want to do next, don't just obviously click this. You want to change some of the settings, so you click on the little cog down here. So you can change the voice of the actor, which in my instance, this is for a UK client. Most of these actors are going to be defaulting to American English with the American accent, which isn't going to go well in the UK. So you can just listen through, see which one you think sounds the best, select that, then click save. Then all you need to do is press play on this side, and you want to hear how that script sounds. First time it might not be the best, So you've got loads of options down here to actually change the way that they're delivering the script. Basically, it's a bit of trial and error with this to get it to sound natural. You know what natural sounds like because you're a human, so just play with it until you do that. You don't use any credits by regenerating and regenerating and regenerating at this stage. So once you're happy with your settings, generally I leave them as is and put style exaggeration up slightly because it gives them a little bit more of enthusiasm in the talking and it's not all monotone. Once you're happy with it, you've played it a few times, then you're just going to go ahead and press this little up button, which will start generating the actual content for you. And you can see the content's generating. So the finished content, which is actually pretty decent on its own without adding text, without doing any of the other stuff, is, as you can see here.
I want to share how I more than halved my energy bills. And it wasn't by installing solar panels. Much quicker and easier, actually. And I didn't know about this until a friend of mine did it. To cut to the chase, I installed a battery storage unit for my house. That's it. But where are the energy savings, you ask? Well, that's the cool bit that most people don't know about. Most people pay a premium for their energy at peak times. What I didn't know, and now take full advantage of, is that you can switch to a variable tariff.
Now, personally, I think that is actually pretty decent. With the movement of the camera walking through, I think that sells quite well on its own. As I said, I don't like making the content creator really small, put them in the corner, put loads of overlays. It just looks too addy. It's been overdone. I like natural, organic looking. Obviously, it's AI, but Arcads does it so well that it can pass, especially if your demographic is slightly older, which in this case they are. If I was putting this ad out for a product for Gen Z, millennials, they're probably going to figure out that it's AI, but even so, it gets across the message and people are very used to AI already, so it doesn't really matter. So you've got your video. That took, all in all, if you count the time that it took to actually produce the video, probably 15 minutes to do a script and get a UGC video done, which is absolutely insane. But you're not done there, obviously. You're going to want to tidy this up a little bit, make some tweaks. So what I would do is just jump into something like CapCut. Make sure you change the aspect ratio to match the actual video. So it's 9:16 for this one. And all I'm going to do to this video, as I say, I'm not going to make it small. I'm not going to add loads of overlays, of images, of solar panels and all this stuff. All I'm going to do is jump into captions, and this is all going to be done for me as well. Auto captions, generate. Let CapCut create the captions, basically just the transcript of what he's saying over the top of it. And then you're going to click on the captions, go to presets in the top right, templates, and then simply find a template that is suitable for your product, for the company, that matches the branding, etc., and the target demographic that you're using. But once you've selected the text overlay, you can see that's now applied to the video. Obviously make sure that it's all timed up, etc., etc. But for me, that is literally it. And it is it because I've launched this ad already, so I'm going to show you the results for this ad in a second.
I want to share how I more than halved my energy bills. And it wasn't by installing solar panels. Much quicker and easier, actually, and I didn't know about this until a friend of mine did it. To cut to the chase, I installed a battery storage unit for my house. That's it. But where are the energy savings, you ask?
I'm curious what you think. Maybe put a comment down below if you think this is believable, if you think it looks a bit rubbish. Let me know. Personally, I think it looks pretty good for very, very minimal effort. I think this is passable for a 45 plus audience. And I might be proven right by the data. So let me jump into the ad account for this client and show you the results from this exact, literally this exact ad. So this is the client's account, literally launched 2-3 days ago, very new. And we're testing, as we always do with our standard testing structure. We've got test 1, 2, 3, and maybe take note of those. Test 1, price. Love price ads at the minute, just image ads with the price, with the product, very simple. Swap this ads, and I will show you an example of these in a minute. These are converting incredibly well. In fact, if you get nothing else from this video, using those ads is the way to go. And then test 3 is no solar. So this is for solar batteries, not necessarily solar. And one of the angles we want to test is telling people or informing people that they don't need to have solar. It's one of the key selling points. So you can see they've all spent around £80, ad set budget optimized, all doing pretty well. So any lead cost under £20 for this company is very good. They're all well under that. But if we look at this campaign, this is the cheapest one, which is the no solar. If we jump in and actually look at the ad that's the top performer in here, lo and behold, it is exactly the ad that I've just made and showed you. So I made it a few days ago before I'm making this video, launched it, let it run for I think it's run for a day or two now. It's instantly become the top performer in this ad set, and it's actually generating very high quality leads for this client. So it's generated 5 leads so far. It's not massive spend, but those 5 leads, he's converted one of them already, which is a phenomenal conversion rate, with the end value of this product being what it is. The most crazy thing about this ad for me, looking at it, considering where AI UGC was a few months ago compared to now, just with something like Arcads, the video hook rate on this is 51.11%. So quickly, what video hook rate is, it's a custom metric, and it's the number of 3-second video plays divided by impressions. What that basically means, or a more common term for it, is the thumb stop rate. So when someone's scrolling through and they stop on your ad, so it catches their attention straight away, and they stay for at least 3 seconds. So a very, very good video hook rate historically is anything over 30% is really good. It means you're stopping people from scrolling. 30% of people who see that ad on their feed stop. That's really, really, really good. This is at 51%. That's insane, and it's an AI generated ad that took about 20 minutes to make. What's potentially even more impressive, video hold rate, is of those people who saw the ad, how many actually watched at least 15 seconds of it. 15 seconds is quite a long time in today's less than 1 second attention economy. Nearly 14% hold rate. So of the people who saw this ad, 14% of them watched it for more than 15 seconds. So if you thought maybe, yeah, it's getting their attention because it's got like a good hook to it and they've not figured out it's AI yet, that's not the case. 15 seconds later, there's still 14% of those people watching it. On average, with real UGC, you would expect this to be 8 to 10% on a really decent UGC video with a real creator who you've actually paid maybe $200 up to £500 or dollars to make. So those figures are absolutely insane, and you saw how quick it was to make that ad. This isn't just like you're making ads for a laugh and like, oh cool, we're making ads. This ad has already generated over 15K in revenue for this client because they have a very, very high customer value. From an ad that, if you boiled it down, probably cost maybe $10, something like that. It's absolutely insane. So that's for the AI UGC side of stuff. Now I did promise earlier, so I will do it quickly to show you this swap this style ad. So this is a style of ad that is absolutely nailing it for basically every single client my agency's got at the minute. So I want to show you this ad, I want to show you what it looks like, and then I want to show you how you can use Arcads to get even more out of it. It's an image-based ad, but with Arcads now you can actually videofy it, so you're turning that image into a video, same exact ad style, and it is incredibly effective. Alright, so I'm making the second part of this video 4 days later, hence the clothes change. But as promised, I want to show you what is probably the top performing ad style that we're using across multiple clients at the minute. I'm going to show you exactly how you make that ad, what goes into it, how to design and structure it, and then also, as I mentioned previously, how you can then use something like Arcads to videofy that ad and get another format version of it which will perform equally well. What I do want to do quickly though, because it's 4 days later, is just show you an update on the ad that we made previously, the UGC AI ad using Arcads. So here's the initial data that we looked at before, which is from the 30th of July to the 3rd of August, and we see that this is the top performing ad, which is the one that we created previously, the AI UGC. You can see the crazy video hook rate and hold rate, but it's now the 7th of August, so I want to just show you an extra couple of days to prove that this is not just like a quick turnaround, decent bit of results. It's actually got some longevity. So we can see that this is still the top performing ad. It's now generated 20 leads. Video hook rate has actually increased over time, so it's now 52.66%, video hold rate 13.5%. Absolutely crazy results. Now, most importantly, lead cost is one thing. It's great to get cheap leads, but ultimately clients want quality leads that are actually going to convert. So for this client, this ad as well as being the cheapest to generate leads, also brings in the highest quality leads. So of all the campaigns, all the tests that we've run for this client, which are these three that I showed you before, you can see lead cost for these two tests, which is the swap this one and the price one, £14.66 per lead. This one's £6.67 per lead. But even more impressively is that this ad, as well as being the cheapest, has generated the most money. So a little bit of an update on that. Now let me show you the ad that I'm talking about, which is this swap this for this ad. So here's a simple example of it. So swap this for this. This is the absolute by far top performing ad style that we're using at the moment at Lead House. We're using it across almost every client because it applies to almost every client. So on the face of it, it looks kind of like a before and after ad, and it sort of is based on that. It's also a blend of before and after and us versus them. It depends on the product or service. But basically what swap this for this style ads do is show your customer's main pain point and then the realized gains after they use the product or service, which means that it should apply to basically every single product or service that exists, because every product and service that exists seeks to solve some sort of problem and give a benefit. So generally with the before and after style ads, they work really well for something that has a visual solution. So for example, beauty products, you have a hair brush or some sort of cosmetic, hair removal, whatever. You can show the before and after, it's very, very clear what it is. The beauty of the swap this ad is that it doesn't have to be something with a specifically visual end result. So what it sort of ties in is before, after, us versus them, and a little bit problem solution, and it works for every industry. So let me show you some examples. This one is good because it's quite visual. It's a service for replacing windows that have become damaged and now they're getting condensated, fairly straightforward. But if we look at this ad, for example, this is for an emergency dental practice. So you would not really consider an emergency dental practice a before and after sort of ad because the visual is not super clear. You'd also not really look at it as an us versus them because you're not going to compare one dentist to another. If people need an emergency appointment, they just need the problem solved. But what this one does with the swap this for this is just lean into the current state that your potential customer is in, which is pain. So we've just got a visual of a man holding his mouth. Both of these images were created with ChatGPT with a very simple prompt. A man with toothache holding his mouth, and then you just ask it to make an image of the same man, but now he's happy. So all we're doing is showing your customer where they currently are at their main pain point. It's very literal in this case because it's for emergency dental appointments. And then we show after. Swap this for this, and then you can add a little bit of text to test different angles. So for example, this one we've got waiting weeks for an appointment versus same day because that's one of the key selling features for this company. We've also got your dentist is closed, which is we're doubling up on the pain points there. So it's like tooth pain and your dentist is closed. What do? Here, appointment in minutes, and then same again, tooth pain on the weekend, appointment booked in minutes. Sort of leaning into the same thing as your dentist is closed, but phrasing it in a different way. So that's another example. Here's another one where we can show the before and after style, but it's still swap this for this. So this is obviously really disgusting bin, and then it's a product that helps keep your bin clean. And it works, as I said, even for things that wouldn't traditionally work for a before and after, where it's not a visual outcome. You will always find a before and after or a new improved situation when you apply your product or service, if it's a good product or service. So for example, this one is for battery storage. It's the same client that we made the UGC video for, and this ad is also generating really good results. Not quite as good as the AI UGC, but still good. And it also demonstrates that you don't need a specific product that gives a visual, like a beauty product or whatever. You can always find the before and after, the better situation realized if you look into your customer's pain points, what your product or service provides or what problem it solves. So for example, in this case, it's all about halving or reducing your electricity bills. So the image, the outcome that's going to be relatable for your audience in this case is obviously going to be that energy bill. So this is a UK energy bill. It will jump out to people as they're scrolling through because they will all be familiar with this exact layout of energy bill. And obviously all we're doing is showing a high energy bill and a lower energy bill, and it's again, swap this for this. And then as a final example for something even more abstract than energy bills, so this is for a graphic design company. They offer graphic design, unlimited graphic design for businesses, agencies, etc., who need constant graphic design, so ad agencies, something like that. So what we do to make this ad is look at what are the pain points, what are the problems that the service solves. So in this case, one of the problems is dealing with freelancers who can be a little bit unprofessional. You need to get more revisions of ads that they've created or graphics because they're not up to scratch, etc., and they can be a little bit annoying. Something that we found in the customer and client research. So again, we just show a visual, and in this case the visual is removing stress. So you can see we've got an extreme exaggeration of a stressed business owner here, and then a very chilled business owner, and then we just add in a little bit of text. So it's, hey Steve, can you make some revisions please? Steve's saying like, seriously, can't be bothered, etc. And then on this side we're just pointing out a feature as well. So can you make revisions? Absolutely, as many as you like, no extra charge. So these style of ads apply to pretty much every business, and they perform incredibly well. All you need to do is identify a clear change that your customer will receive if they sign up for the product or service. As I said previously, what you can then do with this style of ad, which is an image ad, is videofy it. And that gives you a whole other lever to pull on meta platforms, because video performs very differently than image. And if you can take an ad concept that works, which this absolutely does across almost every industry, and then get a new format out of it, you can test again and you'll get equally, if not better results. So I want to show you exactly how to do that. So for example, swap this for this. This is a nice static image, it's done quite well. So why not test it as a video? If you find an ad that works well, always test it in another format. So all I would do here is duplicate this exact ad, remove all of the text like so, and then you're just going to download that image, jump into Arcads. You can see I've already made it here. So previously we made our UGC content, but what you can also do on Arcads is click this button at the bottom, go to scenes, and then you're just going to click here and select add a start frame. So you want to select start frame. That gives the AI the prompt of use this as the starting point, and then I'll give you some information what to do. Upload that exact image that we've just taken from our high performing swap this for this ad, and then describe the scene. You don't need to overthink this. It's just you want motion added to this image. So say something like one man has tooth pain, the other is happy. You don't need to write a script because we don't want them to talk, but if you did want them to talk, you can add text in there, a small amount of text, just a couple of phrases, and it will generate the voices as well. But for this one we don't want. And then you're just going to click the up button and generate scene, and then let me show you what that generated for us. So we've now got this. So this is our exact same ad, but we've just added some movement, which can improve the conversion rate quite a lot. So what we would do then is go back into our original ad, delete out the original image, add in the video that we've just generated with Arcads, like so. Very easily done. We need this bottom part to be available. And then you're going to go back to the original ad, copy and paste all of your text. So now you've got the exact same ad, but this one, when people see it on Meta, is going to have a little bit of motion, a little bit of movement, and I found that this can actually improve the conversion rate quite a lot. Now the only difference between this ad and the original is that this one has got the brand color behind the guy on the right. So what you can do is just background remover. You will need Canva Pro to do that, but I mean, it's $10 a month. I would highly, highly recommend that you get Canva Pro. Okay, so background is now removed. We've got basically an identical ad, but it's a video version. So we've got some nice movement in there, which is absolutely phenomenal for the fact that it takes 2-3 minutes to get this videofied version of an ad, which is already performing well. And then you're just going to upload this ad, new campaign, new test, or into the same ad set test. And trust me, it's going to perform exceptionally well. Swap this for this ads is my #1 tip for high performing meta ads currently. It applies to everything. It's also going to help you to understand the key selling points for your client or for your own product or service, what your customers are going to achieve or get after they've signed up or bought your product. If you want to use Arcads and generate some of these extremely high performing ads that I've just shown you in this video, the link will be in the description below. If you've got any specific products or services and you're wondering what the swap this for this ad focus would be on, literally just leave it in the comments and I'll tell you exactly what the images would be that you would use to do your swap this for your specific product or services. If you found that useful, do hit the like and subscribe button, help me grow this channel and bring you more content on how to improve your meta ads performance, specific ads that you can use and all that stuff.